channel. It's a meme on my channel. primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Hey everybody, can you guys hear me? Hey everybody, can you guys hear me? Test, test, test. Test, 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 test. Let me know if the mic's good with the music and all that. I don't have the best mic yet. Working on it though. Cool. So, this stream is intended for educational purposes, whether that's bad or good, it's up to you. It's not intended to be financial advice. We're playing with fire, as always. But we're here to try to see what's going on. And if you don't know, we just closed a monthly candle. If you go down to TradingView, you hit 1 month. Check this out. It's all red on Rainbow Trends because we don't really work on monthly with these tools because that's just crazy talk. But there was a sell signal on the close of the monthly. But yeah, check this out. She's fresh. She's got 29 days left, 23 hours. We go back to 4 hour. So, oh yeah, had to flag him. It might not be the real one. Testing out the features, Pantalga. And we're also dual streaming if any of you guys are on YouTube, although it looks like it's working. But anyway, but yeah, today was crazy. This weekend was crazy, but we made a lot of trades, did pretty well. Got spooked on the S&P open this morning, so I cut a lot of stuff, but I wanted to run through a bunch of stuff we were posting up in the Discord. And if you're not in the Discord, go follow us. It's all the info's on Twitter and in Twitch. Free Discord. We cover a lot of this stuff, and I won't just say what to buy, what to sell, but I will definitely post up what I think's interesting, and what I think's gonna play out with Rainbow Theory, stuff like that. But a lot of stuff hit, and was fortunate enough because I should have had the discipline to wait this stuff out for the monthly close, because I don't like being leveraged on that. But in general, it all worked out for the most part. Got a little greedy on some stuff, so I didn't have the best execution, but we made some good trades. But anyway, backing up, Bitcoin broke out the range low. We've seen this chart a million times. We traded this, busted up the Bart Simpsons. Go check out the old streams. We beat this with a dead horse, but we did really, really well. We broke to a range low. Now it's starting to form what looks like an accumulation bottom. Just don't know yet. It's looking like that. I'm more suspicious. We finally got a range high shove, but this was crazy consolidation here. These are always the bell curves. When you see my lines, these aren't fibs. As I move it around. So we just sat here forever. And shout out to Kuji. He doesn't watch the stream, but he's in Sell 9K's Discord and on Twitter. OG Australian guy. He was calling for a fake out then a pump, and sure enough, we broke this consolidation range, wicked it, came down and retested it, and then we went full send. Broke the anchored VWAP and really took off. And while Bitcoin wasn't the clearest, because normally I look for a second leg down here in a rainbow reversal, a lot of the alts did really well. So I didn't play with Bitcoin much at all. I'm more focused on the alts here because the alts were a lot easier to read. Hold on, I'm reading chat stuff right now. So that wasn't a I don't know, buddy. That's Rikiri, that's the thing, is I really want to see a range low tested, and we haven't had that second drive. And it looks better if I show Coinbase, because Coinbase went down lower. So we definitely hit like a preliminary support level, then we bounced low, printed a bunch of really awesome rainbow colors, and we went deep, but we haven't gone deep yet. But we did get what is potentially a range high. What I think is a range high. So like I said, you can see it on Twitter, some of the posts. I think this is a potential range low, and I think this is a potential range high. For right now, it's the range high for sure. But you can see there's double pivots up here, so the range high may actually be up here before we come back down. Typically, unless it's like an absolute shell shocker, most of the time Bitcoin doesn't like to V-bottom. It doesn't like to just do that and go back up. Not high time frame. It likes to sit here and wiggle, 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 and then go up. But right now we've only had one test of the bottom, a fake out that broke upwards, and then it rolled over on the monthly. And which was really weird, because if you watch the monthly close, nothing happened. It just sat sideways. which is not normal. Normally, like the last hour, it's pretty hectic, and then everything opens up. But so far, it's just kind of going sideways. So you can see some of my numberings here, and this is how we were looking at the counting of the last rainbow bottom we had back in May that threw a lot of people around. We had our Death Wick, which was on the preliminary score, and then we ended up having 4 legs. So right now, I think we're somewhere around here. It's hard to tell. This one isn't exact 1-to-1, but I'm looking for a retest of the range low, which we haven't had here. So, and we might just go higher. We don't know yet, right? But this is what I'm looking at, and I suspect we're here. So I think we're gonna go through another range, and that's where we were with this one, and we traded the bejesus out of this. Range low, range high, played them all. Right now I'm just trying to get my bearings, and right now today it looks like I finally got my range high bearings. I think we have to see it roll over, because this is why you can see it's only blues right here. It could very well go pinks and purples and then go down. Don't know yet, so we'll see. But it broke through the anchored VWAP, which is really awesome, and shout out to Ladarius, one of the beta testers for Rainbow Trends. I was gonna kill this tool and he fell in love with it and begged me not to. So it's basically super guppy-ish type stuff turned into an EMA cloud that's really VWAP, volume weighted average price. So it's kind of like easier to read Ichimoku is kind of how I explain it to people, but it's support and resistance, and you can see rejected, 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 and then we went through. So it held it down. So it was cool to see that play out. Let me get rid of those. But anyway, this was kind of hard to read. This was chop, and we warned a lot of people, you can sit this out. It's not a big deal. But the other ones were a lot easier to read. So this is Ethereum. Sorry, I'm posting up my stuff. And this is the pattern that we were playing. And this is a rainbow pattern to a T. It's the beginning of a rainbow reversal. And this one's a lot easier to see than the Bitcoin one was. So we had pre-existing pivots, which zoom way out, you can see is from the previous range. So pivot 1, pivot 2, pivot 3. We came back down, we bounced through the pivots, and then we took a shot through. And actually those pivots actually gave us preliminary support. Shot back up, rejected on the top pivot, bear whale print, and then we full sent down. And we found our bottom. So typically, like, just pretend we are like here. When I see a bounce like that, I'll suspect this is preliminary support, and then that's the range low, but I gotta wait it out and see. And this is what we saw. We saw the strongest white bear colors move to yellow, move to orange, and just grind it out. So we went sideways, and when I see this just triggers me as a rainbow trader. This is someone building a bag or a position, but it could be a short. But since where we are right here, they're usually building longs. And then we finally had a final flush out. Let me make this so it's easier to see. It's all down here now since I unlocked the colors, by the way. I'll go with orange. Then we'll make the bulls white. So anyway, you can see we full sent down, a bull print responded, and then we grounded out, printed out a bunch of RSI candles, and had a weaker test of the VWAP rainbow. So you've got the colors, preliminary support, secondary drive down, whites, 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 likely building a bag, the last shakeout, but notice how much weaker it is. You can see like we went way down into the rainbow and hit this line. We're not anywhere near this line, and we tagged out RSI here. Not the hardest RSI, but it showed a floor, and then it took off. But unfortunately, it didn't make it through the VWAP. So the VWAP cloud, the VWAP ribbon, whatever you want to call it, I got to come up with a better name. It broke. So, and this was like the pullback started on the S&P 500 open. So I got shook out of this. I was thinking we were going to go here, because ideally when I see this set up 1, 2, 3, this is the glory target. Sometimes you hit it, sometimes you don't, but the theory is the door's open for the bulls to take it. So they took it, but they didn't run with it. So there's games to be played, or gains to be made here. And overall, this run was 18%. So nothing shabby, but not the best. But I had a late execution on this one, so I posted that up in the Discord. I ended up getting 58%. But it sucks because I had it up in like the 80s and 90s before the S&P 500 broke. So testing out FEMX, I really like these stats because it actually shows you guys like I do have some skin in the game on this stuff that I talk about. I want to encourage other people to learn because I don't kill every trade, but I want to teach you guys like what works and what doesn't. And this setup, this is what you guys need to focus on. 1, 2, 3 has played out across the board on alts this weekend and today. So, hey Caesar on YouTube. I'm dual streaming. This is like my second time, so sorry if I'm late to the replies. But let me catch up because this is what I want to focus on for the next like 30 minutes, and I'm gonna run you guys through a bunch of alts because the Discord and stuff's been really quiet, and so is Twitter. But like I don't understand it because this stuff is like screaming at me for longs. But let me catch up on this stuff. So what is accumulators? My algo didn't die. Yeah, algo is. Pantolga can trade algo. I can't. It looks like so perfect and then it dies. So I don't do too well with it. But anyway, so I hope this makes sense. And correct me if I'm wrong in the Discord or the chat. But you can see like even the RSI is getting weaker. Those are purples. Those are blue. Then it's just greens. Weaker colors, weaker drives into this VWAP band, boom, send. But we didn't break resistance. We had pivot resistance up here, we had VWAP resistance here, didn't make it. You can actually see RSI break in there, right? So that's cool. But this is, like I said, like the glory target. This is the one that hit, and unfortunately I didn't have that much on it. Let me see. I had one marked up. It was Cardano. Did I mark up the Coinbase? Might have been the FEMX. Give me a second because I gotta find. I already drew one of these up, so I don't want to redraw it. That's close enough. And I can grab this one because this one hit hard. And that's the thing. Like when you're trading like with this style, you don't necessarily know what will happen, but what you do know is what's available. And what we knew on this trade, this was one of the highest leverage trades I've ever done. It was crazy. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, gone. And look at the RSI tool really giving you a hint here. So we can zoom in here. And like I said, this is the glory. If we can punch whites here into the VWAP rainbow, the full like yin yang rebalance is pinks into this side of the rainbow. And we did it. Albeit why Cardano did that, or how the Haas pulled that off, I have no idea. But I wasn't really mouthy about this one because I wasn't expecting it to take off, but I did buy. But let me run you through the same thing. Preliminary support, range low drive, secondary test. And like, look, like don't get, this is still that triggering, blah, 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 blah. Someone's building a position, then they take a swing low and then they go. This is to like fake you out. This is to get people. So like the whales are sitting there. Okay, you're going to set your stop losses here. I got you. Ding, ding. So they wipe the floor with you, sends you a stop loss trigger email, and then they go. And this was insane. This was Cardano did a 52% run. And I was fortunate enough to grab like 30% of it. So this was a 10x. So this was really like only like a 32% trade on spot, which is amazing. But still, like the point is I hope this stuff starts screaming out to people because this is where I think the rainbow stuff really gives people an edge to like the games they're about to play. You can see that's the other key thing is the drive down. You'll get the volume explosion. So anyway, that one fully played out. But as we saw with Ethereum didn't get through this. Cardano did, but Ethereum went full send. And Maybe there's some cool stuff dropping on Cardano. I got no idea, but I just played the rainbow trade. But this is the same chart that all the others have. So let me show you Zcash. And this is the one I thought was gonna go, and I didn't get it right. I had a triple digit position and I turned it into a 22%er. So poor execution on my part, but live and learn. Yeah, so let me run through this one. And I hope this looks familiar, because the more this stuff looks familiar to you guys, the more you can set your attack. Because the key is in hindsight, this stuff's really, really easy, but to actually buy right here takes discipline, and you have to buy it when nobody wants to buy it. And I can tell you, when we are coming back down from that type of a rally, so like crypto Twitter is just crying, and then they're talking about 100K again, and then they get emotional as we come back down and grind, and they start saying 10K, 5K, we're Bitcoin's going to zero, and then she kisses and goes. So this is the same trade setup as the others. Big volume explosion on the drive down, and I'm starting to count these two. It's not Elliott Wave, but I'm starting to count like Elliott Wave guys do, I guess, with there's 5 count bars, but same thing. Preliminary support, range low, rally, secondary test, so second drive, second low, and then send. And man, it looked, I thought it was gonna go. We broke through the VWAP ribbon. We tagged $100. We tagged it a few times. We hit $100 like a few times, but it wouldn't break through. And I thought for sure it was going to break through, blip this pivot on 109, and I was going to have a crazy P&L to report. But it went up, tagged 100 a few times, pulled back on the S&P 500, and I had to cut it because I didn't want to take a loss on it. So I protected the gains and only made 20% when this was really up to like 100. So I screwed that one up. But like you said, I closed it at 92 when I could have closed it at 100. So meh. But anyway, let me catch up on chat again. So preliminary support, go look at like the Wyckoff stuff, the Wyckoff charts. The Rainbow Theory is not Wyckoff, but there's aspects of like the chasing of whales. So like there are parts of aspect that I catch on the time frames that I check in Rainbow Theory. So that's what that is. So let me just pull it up. Because there's a lot of accumulations that I play that are on lower time frames than like what the traditional Wyckoff stuff is, and there's not the full thing in what I'm looking at, but I can catch elements of it. So that's the preliminary support, and then that's what I call the range low, and then that's what I would call like the secondary test. So it's not, this isn't it, but that's what I call it because that's the closest thing to it. Maybe I'll come up with a cooler name. But basically, as you're free falling, and eventually someone bites before it's fully bottomed out, and then it fully bottoms out. So as you can see, it's like the same thing. It's free falling, someone bites, and then it fully bottoms out. It's a lot cleaner on Ethereum. Right? You can see it came down, kissed, and then it came down again, and then it finally found the bottom. And once it found the bottom, they sat there and accumulated it, flushed out the stop losses, and then they went. But right now it's going sideways again. But I hope that makes sense. Yeah, the bite before the bottom. Yeah, Elliott died poor, so did Tesla. But I learned a lot of stuff from him too. So, I don't know. Maybe he had it somewhat figured out. But I appreciate the counts they do because I count accumulation bottoms a lot. And I don't know why the counts happen. But this count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 happens a lot. So we knew this one was it when it hit. It was so weak, and it was the fourth leg of the dog leg reversal. Come up with a better name, but rainbow reversal is what I stick with. But anyway, that was Ethereum. I don't know if I played Litecash. I know Comp did it too. Same thing. Like, I hope you guys see this. 1, 2, 3, go. Albeit Litecoin's slow and it's an old dead coin, but Comp, At least it mines Doge. This was an older play. Ignore that one. I think I played that, but I didn't play it today, or I cut it early and I didn't write it down. But same thing with comp. Like, I hope you guys, like, I hope this is boring, because as soon as this is boring, you're gonna understand the pattern and then go, right? Now, be it, this one's kind of in a downslope, so is what it is. That one didn't full sin. Like, we want the glory ones, but that one didn't go glory. What was another one? Trades and profits. Bcash popped. I was waiting it and I didn't monitor it properly. But yeah, same thing. 1, 2, and I guess you could say if this was Josh would go inverted head and shoulders. And then boom, and then up, right? Bcash is still going. And it's kind of a big deal that Bcash broke 200. It normally likes to touch really pretty numbers then reverse, and right now it's going up. So maybe it's gonna go for 250. I don't know. Weird phenomenon, but it likes pretty numbers like 250, 200, 225. It likes those type of numbers. No idea why. But it is like, if you get Bitcoin Cash at like 190, like, very high odds if it's gonna at least wick to 200, and I have no idea why. And it's the only coin I've ever seen do it. I've looked for other coins to do that phenomenon, and I have no idea. I've seen this thing go up to like 490 so many times, wick 500, and then free fall. Same thing, as it's free fall and it'll get to like 210, and it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna tag 200. It'll tag 200, then go up. Maybe Ver likes pretty numbers and he's in full control of this nonsense coin, but anyway. You can see a little bit of volume spike here too, and the OBV is moving up. But anyway. Yeah, I mean, Litecoin's what I use to send people money. Flat out. It doesn't run on any other chain, so it's not like you can run the wrong one. Low fees, it's fast, and I don't know of a single exchange that doesn't have it, so it can get through just about any country. Like, short story, going off the tangent here, I know someone who sent somebody like 10 grand of Tether, but they sent it to someone, in New York, and instead of Coinbase rejecting the Tether, knowing it was going to a Coinbase account, Coinbase waited for the Tether to come in, and then they locked it. And that guy had to go through a lot of gambits to get it out because Tether is illegal in New York City. And they were asking me for help, and I was like, dude, I have no idea. I know it's you're just gonna have to start contacting them. And I think he eventually got it resolved, but like, he thought he was gonna lose the 10 grand for a while. Sorry, I'm reading chat. But anywho, I diverge. Anybody can get Litecoin. If anybody knows of where it's banned, please let me know, because I don't know it. Because like, Bitcoin you can screw up because there's wrapped Bitcoin, albeit you'd have to really screw it up to do that. Bcash I don't think is wrapped, but who would want to do that? Litecoin's good. Like, Zcash is not on every exchange, Monero's not on every exchange. I don't really know. But anyway, I did make a bunch of Neo trades. Yeah, this was last week, I think. Made 80% on that one. Yeah, so this was one I was doing notes up for Blake, because Blake's working on the website. And yeah, guys, check this out. Same thing. Preliminary support, range low, accumulation, color bleed out, popped, but unfortunately it rolled over. And it popped again today, but these trades were over here. And frankly, it was on much shorter time frame. Yeah, I think I was watching this on 1 hour, but I saw this accumulation zone. I saw this cluster of whale prints. It full sent up, color bleed out, take profit bought, sent a signal, so I just cut it and made 80% on that one. It was 8%, but leveraged, whatever. I still recommend spot. I'm just playing with Femex, and I like even numbers, so I use 10. Just put the bids down smaller, but it looks cool. And I can track my trades, so I don't have to go back through a garbage exchange and write everything down manually. It actually shows you what your performance is and all that stuff. So, anyway, but it's the monthly close, so We're in a weird position because it's Tuesday, and the big news, I like to see stuff open up on a Monday, but essentially, just like another side tangent, I want to warn you guys, we just closed the monthly, so like chill out. A lot of stuff's got to come online, a lot of stuff's got to get shaken out, and typically when we have a new monthly open, there's usually like fake outs. That's where they do their fake outs and then they commit to the move, whether it's up or down. So just like chill out, hang out for a few days, and it may be till next week because it closed today on a Tuesday, so we're only gonna get like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So maybe the shenanigans are next week. I don't know, but I think this is a range high. I'm suspicious of it, and I think that's the range low, and we're at the range high. So like the odds are against me that we just break through these pivots and go north. The odds are more it's gonna do that. As much as I want Bitcoin to do that, that's how you paint a bottom, right? We want to see a bottom. And we want to see a strong bottom. Cue the Apple Bottom Jeans songs. We want to see this thing hit a few times and then go SOS and then out. So that's what we want to see. And the whole thing is grab your alts down here, sell them in the mid-range or sell them up here if you can diamond hand them that long. And then short it on the way down if you want to short. It's like Cardano. This thing full sent, and it's likely coming down. Even I'm looking at this on 6 hour. So I actually sold it right here, like 65, 67, and now I'm like shorting it. So not financial advice. I'm playing with shorts because people want to see like rainbow trading shorts, and I hate shorting, but I'm forcing myself to learn it and do it more. But you can see like this is bleed out. When I say bleed to green, this is what I'm referring to. Amplification, green to blue to purple to pink, and then we peak out, sell signals, all this, and now we're rolling into purples, blues, and now greens are showing up. So hopefully we get a bunch of greens and then we come down and kiss that. Maybe we go through it, I don't know. But if I'm short here, that's 20% to test with. Because if we can get through this pivot, that's the next one online, and that's a double pivot, so that's going to be like double whammy, right? That's the strong one, that's the weak one. So that's what we want to see. Unless you're really pro Charles, and then we can go on to traditionals. Big thing is happening tomorrow, and bonus points to anybody who knows what happens tomorrow. What is the Fed doing? And shout out to Spaceman Indicators for this tool. FOMC meeting is awesome. Every single FOMC meeting is a vertical red line. And the S&P 500 tomorrow, June 1st, is going to start offloading. So the Fed has got like a 9 trillion balance sheet. They're going to start offloading, I think it's $47 million. Billion, not a million, $1 billion. And they're going to start offloading that onto the market. Now they're not going to be sitting there market selling Tesla stocks. They're going to be offloading a bunch of bonds and stuff like that. But regardless, this big whale on the way up quit buying and is now going to start selling. In addition to that, he has going to be now start selling off, and this is like the ugliest chart ever, but this is just how I've been looking at it. And shout out to the Take Profit Signal for calling S&P tops again. But we got midterms coming up in October, November. So he's going to start offloading tomorrow, and then come June 15th, June 14th is the next FOMC meeting. They're supposed to do 50 basis points here. They're supposed to do 50 basis points here. Don't really know past that, but also the quantitative selling is going to increase from 47 to like 90 billion. Quantitative tensioning, sorry, QT. So this thing has a chance to come down here and bottom on these pivots, and then maybe go up near midterms. I don't really know, but I'm betting on this. It's somewhere in here. I just don't know where. I think somewhere between 32 and 39. So I think this is an exit pump right now. And frankly, it doesn't really matter what I think. I'm going to sit back and wait and see what Powell actually does. Biden actually met with him and Yellen today, and then Yellen went straight onto CNN an hour later and was telling everybody about how she was wrong on inflation. So buckle up. because I don't know what's going to happen, but the president meeting in private with Jerome the day before they start QTing, dude, I don't know. It's not bullish. He's going to be selling, and he's going to be increasing rates. So that won't stimulate a market. So we'll see where that goes. But regardless, I think we still have to wait for midterms. We have to wait for these FOMC rate hikes. Eventually, Powell is going to quit increasing rate hikes. They're at least going to pause it and do zeros and just let it ride out. And that'll be a bullish signal. They also aren't going to offload for 4 years to get rid of this $9 trillion deficit. So eventually he's going to say no more rate hikes. And he's also eventually going to say no more selling. And when you see that, like, I'm a buyer, like, no questions asked. When we'll see that, I don't know, but it's an election year, so I think into Q3 is a good probable time for it to happen. But inflation's still going sky high. The other thing I'm looking for is diesel. So forget the tools, forget the FOMC thing. Traditionally, diesel has, just forget the pivots for now. I don't want to turn everything off. Traditionally, back in the days, back in like 2008, when the S&P fell over, pretend that's the S&P, diesel went parabolic. And right now, diesel's been rolling, or S&P 500 has been rolling over, and diesel's going parabolic again. So the other thing I'm looking for, along with Powell stopping rate hikes and also stopping quantitative tensioning, whatever QT stands for, Bro Streamer, hashtag. Diesel's going to bottom somewhere around the same time S&P does, probably within a week or two. So not going to nail the bottom. This is macro slow stuff, but that's a good window. Diesel bottomed, S&P looking bottomed, the Fed releasing their grip on the market. People are probably going to come back. I know I would, and I know I probably will, because I've been hedged for about a year, almost a year now. And I've seen a lot of stuff where I could have bit and got a really, really good entry on the S&P. We can go look at futures. Futures print a little better with rainbow trends. I think we're going to come lower. I don't think it's done yet. So. Later, dude. So we'll see. We shall see. Let me go see if I can find 2008. You can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's 2008. So let me compare diesel. Check it out. It's not gonna let me do anything. Dang it. I'll have to put it on a new scale. Hold on 1 second. Check it out. That's the 2008 bottom of S&P 500. That's when S&P started rolling over, and that's when diesel started going parabolic. But check it out, they bottomed the same damn time. Right? So that's what I'm looking for too. Not crude, not gasoline. I'm looking at diesel in particular because I'm looking at the infrastructure of the United States and the rest of the world slowing down. The difference is in diesel doesn't go into normal cars, daily drivers. It goes into trains, barges, not oil tankers. What does? But the big cargo ships, stuff like that. The Amazon trucks, stuff like that. So like when the market's fully dumping, that's when I think there's less loads on those type of demands. And that's what I think we'll see. And like, I hope you guys see it. Like I showed you those counts, right? Of what the reversals I was looking at. Now this is the daily candles on the S&P 500. And does it look similar to you guys? Preliminary support, drive down, secondary test, full send. That is the worst arrow ever. So do you see what I'm talking about? Does that look like the 2-hour Neo chart or the 88 chart, but it's S&P 500 on the daily? It's a rainbow reversal. So I hope that sinks in. PS, drive 1, drive 2. See how this one went deeper, and then that one was shallower? Now the PS on the front's going to look a little messy, and it takes a little skill to read this stuff, right? Because you'd want to say that's preliminary sort, that's drive 2. You really got to let the chatter roll out, and then it'll drive down. And then that's drive 2 after a little hill, right? So everyone asks what's the symbol for diesel, and it is a goofy one. No, that's indicators. There's probably some other ones, and I really need to hit up, that's it right there, DDF Fuel US Gulf. I really need to hit up Dylan and see if he can do it. See, I think he can pull the data further back than I can, because he's got a terminal. But since we've been talking diesel, I want to show you guys oil and stuff, and show you guys, again, like, Rainbow stuff works on just about anything. Some dudes that have been with Rainbow for a while, and they trade lumber futures with it, uranium, crude oil, Tesla futures. I mean, go figure. But you want to like cheat, go trade crude oil on 4-hour default settings with this stuff turned on. The TP bot in particular is stupid good on 4-hour. Stupid good. And it responds to pivots really, really well. So, for what it's worth, see all the pivot tests down here? Like, there's your range low, wedge, breakout, wedge again, breakout. But the TP bot in particular is really good on US oil. Why it is, I have no idea. But it's really, really consistent. Same thing with Tesla. It's really, really good on Tesla. So, but yeah, and this is kind of a thing I thought about the other day, and I don't understand the correlation, but Femex Pentaga, your question on YouTube, just noticed it. It's hard reading 2 TVs at once plus the screen. But anyway, something I noticed here, and I guess, well, hell, I'm just kind of noticing it now. This is kind of curving. So that thing may just have a blow off top coming, or we're about to full send it. I don't know about you. I saw some pictures of $9 diesel in California. It's scary. The thought of putting $400 into a truck is just insane to me. But regardless, I wanted to point something out. You would think if diesel and gasoline are at all-time high, crude oil is just rocking, you would think the largest car manufacturer would be doing great. And it's not. Tesla is doing awful. The TP bot is all over it. The TP bot actually called when Elon sold at the top, and his brother as well. But we've been nuking. There's an inverted head and shoulders here, a rally, and I guess you could say maybe that's a 3-leg reversal there. It's a little dirty. But that's the full yin to yang, right? You want to see the whites to pinks, right? That's where you definitely don't get greedy. If you see pinks into here, definitely start taking profit. Doubly so if it starts telling you with the take profit bot. But this thing's bleeding pretty bad, and it did a new low here at 621. So this is something on the stock market that back in November was $1,200. It's done a 50% retrace already. But check it out. It came back up and got rejected on the pivot, so it's likely to keep going down. So I don't know what their deal is. Maybe it's profitability, because it's as cool as electric cars are and not paying for a lot of diesel. Electric cars in particular have a really, really hard time with supply chains. So supply chains are getting crunched right now. So Elon's struggling with like the prices of inflation. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, this one's not looking so hot. Maybe it's bottomed out here, because you can see this was full exponential drop down to the rainbow, then it broke up. I tell you this though, when I saw this, I was tweeting the hell out of it, and I knew it was going to go, and it went hard, and then we printed sells way the hell up here, which I thought for sure, like, no way it's going to break the VWAP rainbow, but it did. But I don't think it's doing so hot. A lot of the tech stuff's just dying. Snapchat was one that made news last week. Snapchat, like, you think trading Doge is dangerous? Try trading Snapchat. Back in September, it was $82. Sorry, I have the wrong one. Let me do the long. Back in September, it was $82. It's May now, or June almost. It's 83% retrace. That's like Crapcoin crypto retrace numbers, and it doesn't look like it's stopping. Like, we've gapped here multiple times, punched this out, printed whites, and it's still bleeding off. So, like, be super careful. I don't know how Snapchat ever made money, honestly, but is what it is. What was the other one I wanted to look at? Apple's actually showing some weakness, which is crazy. That's the wrong Apple ticker. Apple actually tagged the rainbow, the VWAP rainbow, which is super, super rare. Like, that's the COVID crash. The COVID crash on Apple barely punched the rainbow once, right? Barely. Like, it barely touches this thing, and that's 2018. Happens every few years. Not common. We barely tagged it here, and it's bouncing. But again, if you guys want to learn how to scalp these pivots. And that's a VWAP rejection, but you can see where it's showing support on pivots, and now it's rejecting on pivots. I hope that makes sense. Basically, these pivots, regardless of the color, it typically will reverse when it touches them. It takes multiple times for it to bang its head on a wall to break through it, and then it has to hit the next wall, bang its head through it, and get through. But it takes a whole lot of bulls to do that. And it's hard to do. A lot of times they'll bang their heads on it, come back down, bang, 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 get through, reject. And it's a big game, and it's meant to chop you to pieces. And it's very good at it. But, like, even here, you can see that they've tried to break through this pivot here, and this one. And then they finally did it. Bam, 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 bam. And the same thing's like on the top. Like, they're trying to set higher highs, and they couldn't. Bam, 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 bam. So, in between the pivots. It's not going to be perfect, but it really, like, if you have the discipline for setting an entry with a stop loss, like, you've got really good odds on these to try to get them. Especially if you wait for, like, the retest, which you can see a retest here. Broke through, popped right back up, then it came down, kissed it, and then went. I don't know why it's wiggling like that, but you can set a stop loss in an entry like here, and you can put a stop loss right underneath it. Dang it, what's one? Is this not it? Yeah. So you can set it like a super, super tight stop loss, and like, hey, I've got 0.15% risk. Who cares how much I long? I'm not going to lose much of anything. But you have to be super patient, and it takes like balls of steel to do that, because it's hard. It's emotional. You don't want to buy range lows hoping for a pop up, right? So drug dealing, Aave. Yeah, actually, I think I cut Aave early. Yeah, I had Aave and I cut it. This one did not really do a retest, but you can at least see same stuff. I want to make this as boring as I can be, because the more boring it is, the more I drill it into your heads, the more you guys can see this and capitalize on it. Preliminary support, drive 1, no drive 2, but you can see the bleed out on colors, whites to yellows to orange to red, and then they popped, right? And they got super, super close to that pivot like we were just talking a while ago. See how there's a double pivot here? They got right up to it and rejected. Then they tried it again. Lower high but higher candle wick. Not higher candle bodies, but close. Bled out and it came down. And then it full sent. So this was hard, and this chopped me up because I cut it. I cut it at not much of a profit at all, if any. And I wasn't paying attention to it to buy it down here. But my point is this is the Hail Mary one you want to see, and you bet on it, but you don't always get it. But if you get it, it's awesome, and you take your profits. You buy on whites on this side of the VWAP rainbow. You sell on pinks is the goal. But any hiccup along the way, secure your profits and also have your stop losses, right? That's the goal of like trading this stuff, because guys, this is not up only anymore. This is waiting for your trade, waiting for the whales to show you what's going on, and then like planning your attack. And what they're gonna force you to do is like the whole easy longs where you just long what's moving a lot. Like those days are gone right now. They'll come back someday, but they're not here right now. And just like I was saying about like don't be greedy. If you get these Hail Marys, dude, take them. Sometimes it goes way, way higher, and hell, we saw Zcash do this for a freaking week before it 50% retraced. But you can already see it's rotating to purple, which is weaker. When you see us punch into the higher ups here, it's really hard for bulls to hold it, and they run out of gas. And then we run into weaker colors, and then it rotates. So she'll probably Marine revert down. She's testing this pivot here, so maybe she goes again, but she's probably going to come down here. I wish I had VPVR on. Yeah. So you can see there's a lot of volume here, so it'll probably come down in here and chill out or test this area. So I hope I can draw enough lines on the chart to confuse you. But there was a lot of DeFi stuff that like popped. SNX I think was another one. Don't they have like 150% APR now? Yeah. Check that out. Triple pivot coming into the top. Preliminary support, drive 1, drive 2, full send, pinks, and barely tap the green, but look, there's triple pivots here, so this is definitely a take profit area if you get it. And that frankly was a, and I didn't get this trade, so I'm not claiming to, but that's a 40% run on spot. So, but you had to have the stones to wait for that. You can try to knife catch it here, but it's riskier, because it may come down for a third leg like down here, but if you get the preliminary support, the drive 1, you can get that drive 2, and the odds are more in your favor. So, anyhow. Makes me want to watch Cake and see what Cake's doing. Straight chop. It almost flipped the 4-hour, almost. And then it rejected. Did this and then full send back. This is just chop. It sucks. I mean, yeah, you could have got some stuff here, but it would have been really, really hard. That belly is nice, but it didn't commit to get up over here. Ken, I don't know Ken. KuCoin. This is why I say wait for that secondary retest, because ding 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 ding. But I don't know what this is. My lord. What is this? Like an 80% retrace? Yeah. Wow, this thing's down only. No offense to your coin, but like, I wouldn't touch this. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's a floor. Maybe, but that's hard to read. Yeah. Ah, speaking of that, Luna's back online, but it's the new one. But I don't know if what the ticker is. Is it literally Luna 2? It is Luna 2. Wow. Thanks, Doquan. Great. I don't have enough candles to have the indicators work yet, but I know Kuji was talking about long in this. He's probably going to do really, really well, but he's super, super, super good. I, for one, can't wait for Luna 3, so I'm going to be more bullish when that hits. Let me check uranium. Yeah, uranium's correcting. Let me get back on 4-hour. I don't like looking at 15 with default settings. So check that out. Like, that's why you take profit on pivots. See how it bounced and hit its head on it? Now it'll probably come back and hit it, but you don't know. So that's why it's like it's in your favor to take profits when you hit those pivots the first time, because they rarely go straight through. Same here, pivot rejection, came all the way back down, then they broke through. Anyhow. can't believe he just called it Luna and Luna Classic. Is it called Luna Classic? What about Luna Pro? Is there wrapped Luna 2 yet? No. Hey, Playmaker. That's crazy. Take a look at DJI then. I gotta get going, guys. It's a little. Oh wow, it's late. But we can raid somebody. DJI. Pivots. Isn't that cool? There's a double pivot right there, and it's wicked. Wham. Oh, I forgot one thing, and then I gotta go, guys. For real. We did not cover funding, and funding is looking really cool. Not many people use this indicator, but it's awesome. It looks like Binance is still trying to flip this thing. I hope I can confuse you guys with all this crap in the background. Let's go Bybit. So this is Bybit candles, but this is Binance data on the bottom. So ignore all that. But long story short, I'm just gonna turn it off. If you want the VWAP ribbon like brighter colors, just put it on the thing twice. Little cheat sheet there. So this is the perp funding tool. So it looks at the balance between when the whales are buying spot versus when the whales are buying premium, right? Those are old notes. Right now, this whole bottom we had here was this, right? The whales were buying spot. This whole little pullback here, they loaded up spot and then they leverage long. So load up spot when it's scary so they can't get liquidated, and then they leverage long. And this whole time here they were going through insane leverage. But we've been in this huge belly for something like, I don't even know how many days it is, well over 100 days now, but they've been buying spot this whole way down. So the theory is when you see this bad boy flip back into the red, which will happen someday. I don't know when it's going to happen, but man, it looks like it's flirting with it now. But sometimes, like you can see here, it flirts with it and then it pulls right back down, just due to market conditions. But this is super long spot accumulation zone, which implies that whales have been buying from 47 to 24, just loading up on spot. So if this thing starts going red, I'm gonna get really excited, and you'll see me just start tweeting about it nonstop. That's the right tool. So it's Binance. I'm gonna turn on FTX, Deribit, Bybit, BitMEX, Huobi, and then try to crush TradingView servers. Yeah. So they got blown out on that drive. So they went heavy spot, and now they're like correcting, and they're just about corrected. So I think it's gonna happen soon. Maybe it'll be June. Who knows? Now if that happens, we may not get leg 2, leg 3, then go. If they leverage long it, who knows? But every time we get to a range high, even if we're in this side, be careful, because sometimes it rolls over still. So with all that being said, I am gonna find someone to raid. So give me 1 second, because I've got to go to bed. Gotta get up at 5 tomorrow. It frustrates me. There's like channels now where it's just like they're streaming YouTube stuff. This is in English. We'll try it. There's no way that's live. Also, check out the Discord, Twitter, hit us up. Also, check rainbowtrends.com, rainbow-trends.com if you're looking at why my tools look so crazy. This guy speaks Spanish. Say hola. See you guys. Trading rock. Wait, that's... Oh, he cut his video. Come on. Somebody. What? Can I raid myself? That'd be cool. Oh my gosh, ads.
If you had all the power
Trading Rock
and
lost it.
speed of
Mr.
Frontier
Crypto
Fiber
Sniper.
Internet, you could be legendary. You could dive
Let's go.
into the metaverse
See you guys.
or create your own whatever verse and make moves that move the world. Because Frontier's 100% fiber optic internet is as powerful as your creativity. Let's go frontiering.